Picture this. 3,000 years ago, a yogi sits cross-legged in a frigid Himalayan cave. Wisps of smoke from his chillum spiral toward the stone ceiling. He's not chasing a high. He's offering his consciousness to the universe, a sacred gift to touch the stars. The plant he uses, cannabis, was once consumed by warriors to become fearless, revered by sages as a bridge to the divine, and gifted by Lord Shiva himself according to Indian mythology. Yet today, that sacred act could land you in jail. How did cannabis, once a revered conduit to the divine, become a forbidden drug? More importantly, have we forgotten what it was meant to awaken within us? This isn't just the story of a plant. It's the story of a forgotten portal to our own selves. This journey will take you through Himalayan caves, ancient temples, and modern labs, weaving ancient wisdom with cutting-edge science. It's a tale of memory, awakening, and rediscovering a sacred gift obscured by history, policy, and misconception. So, before we continue with the video and explore this interesting topic further, don't forget to like, subscribe to the Top Hidden Knowledge channel to stay updated on everything related to personal and spiritual growth. This helps us bring more content that can make a difference for you. In the heart of ancient India, cannabis was no mere plant. It was a sacred bridge to the divine, a gift woven into the spiritual and physical fabric of a civilization that revered it as holy. Far from being a vice, cannabis was a beacon of transcendence, a tool to align body, mind, and soul with the cosmic rhythm of the universe. In the Atharva Veda, one of humanity's most ancient spiritual texts, cannabis is celebrated as Vijaya, the victorious. Its power? To liberate the human spirit from the chains of fear and sorrow, opening a doorway to the divine. It wasn't an intoxicant to cloud the mind, but a sacred key to unlock higher states of consciousness. Legend tells of cannabis sprouting from sacred soil, where drops of immortal nectar fell from the body of Lord Shiva as he meditated in blissful serenity atop the snow-capped peaks of Mount Kailasa. Shiva, the enigmatic deity of meditation, destruction, and rebirth, is said to have bestowed this plant upon humanity as a divine instrument to elevate the soul. In Vedic rituals, cannabis was no casual offering. It was a sacrament, a means to commune with cosmic consciousness. Sadhus, the ascetic monks who renounced worldly ties, embraced cannabis during sacred festivals like Mahashivratri and Kumbh Mela. Their purpose wasn't recreation or escape, but a profound connection to the divine presence, a way to feel the pulse of the universe itself. Among the most revered uses of cannabis was bhang, a sacred elixir crafted from the plant's leaves and flowers, blended with milk, sugar, and a symphony of spices, turmeric, cinnamon, and almonds. This wasn't just a drink, it was a potion of courage, inspiration, and transcendence. Warriors consumed bhang before charging into battle, their hearts ablaze with the fearless energy of Shiva, believing it forged a spiritual link to the god's indomitable spirit. Poets like Kabir and the Sufi mystic Rumi, whose works shimmer with divine insight, may have encountered cannabis through ancient trade routes. Their verses, which dissolve the ego and touch the intangible, hint at the plant's ability to spark creative and spiritual awakening. For sadhus, bhang was a gateway to samadhi, a state of transcendent unity where the mind merges with the infinite, dissolving the boundaries of self and cosmos. Yet cannabis's significance in ancient India extended far beyond the spiritual realm. It was a cornerstone of healing, revered in the Karaka Samhita, a 2,000-year-old Ayurvedic encyclopedia that catalogued its use for over 100 ailments. From soothing anxiety and insomnia to alleviating chronic pain and digestive disorders, cannabis was a versatile remedy. Ayurvedic healers harnessed its power to balance doshas, the body's elemental energies, while enhancing memory and reducing inflammation. To the ancients, cannabis wasn't a means to escape reality. It was a tool to embody it fully, aligning the physical, mental, and spiritual dimensions of existence into a harmonious whole. This raises a profound question. What wisdom did these ancient yogis possess that modern society has overlooked? How did they wield cannabis, not as a crutch or a path to addiction, but as a catalyst for attaining higher consciousness? The answer lies in three timeless principles: reverence, discipline, and intention. The yogis approached cannabis with sacred respect, treating it as a divine ally rather than a casual substance. Their disciplined rituals, timed to lunar cycles, preceded by fasting, and guided by spiritual mentors, ensured its use was purposeful and controlled. Above all, their intention was clear: to transcend the mundane, not to indulge in it. These principles transformed cannabis from a plant into a sacred technology, a tool for awakening the soul. Contrast this with today's world, where cannabis is often misunderstood, stigmatized, or reduced to a recreational escape. The ancient yogis knew something we've largely forgotten: that the power of cannabis lies not in the plant itself, but in how we engage with it. Their practices offer a roadmap for rediscovering its potential, not as a forbidden substance, but as a sacred gift that, when used with wisdom, can illuminate the path to self-discovery. As we explore these principles further, we'll uncover how reverence, discipline, and intention can unlock the divine potential within us all, just as they did for the yogis of ancient India. The legacy of cannabis is not one of prohibition or indulgence. It's a call to awaken, to remember the sacred spark that resides in every human soul. For millennia, ancient yogis in India revered cannabis as a sacred key to unlock divine consciousness, a tool to align the soul with the universe's infinite rhythm. Today, modern science is catching up, peeling back the layers of mystery to reveal why this plant has such a profound impact on the mind, body, and spirit. In the 1990s, researchers uncovered a groundbreaking discovery: the endocannabinoid system, a biological network woven into the fabric of our evolution. This intricate system, with receptors scattered throughout the brain and body, regulates mood, memory, pain, and even mystical experiences, acting as a bridge between the physical and the transcendent. At its core are natural compounds like anandamide, dubbed the bliss molecule for its roots in Ananda, the Sanskrit word for divine joy, a poetic nod to the ancient wisdom that science now echoes. When cannabis enters the body, its compounds, THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, and CBD, cannabidiol, dance with these receptors, amplifying states of mindfulness, serenity, and at times, profound revelations. Cannabis doesn't conjure something foreign. It magnifies what already burns within us, the inner flame that yogis call prana, the life force that pulses through all existence. A 2018 study from Johns Hopkins University illuminated this connection, showing that individuals using cannabis in spiritual rituals experienced deeper meditative states, reduced anxiety, and heightened self-awareness. The key: intention and moderation. When used with purpose, cannabis becomes a lantern, illuminating the path to inner clarity. When misused, it risks casting shadows of chaos. The legendary psychologist Carl Jung once mused that substances like cannabis could unlock hidden rooms of the psyche, offering glimpses into the soul's uncharted depths. Yet he cautioned restraint, warning that without care, these tools could spiral into disorder. Ancient Vedic texts echoed this sentiment, speaking of soma, a mysterious elixir some scholars link to cannabis, revered for its divine potential, but respected for its power. The yogis understood a timeless truth. Cannabis was a compass, not the destination. It pointed toward higher consciousness, but the journey, arduous, sacred, and personal, belonged to the practitioner alone. Picture a medieval Rajput warrior in the sun-scorched deserts of Rajasthan, sipping bhang, a sacred cannabis-infused elixir, before charging into battle. His body is steady, his mind razor-sharp, his heart ablaze with fearless resolve, as if Shiva's divine energy courses through his veins. This was not intoxication, it was alignment, a harmonious union of body, mind, and spirit. Modern science affirms this ancient practice. A 2022 study on flow states revealed cannabis's remarkable versatility. Low doses sharpen focus, moderate doses ignite creativity, and higher doses evoke spiritual transcendence. This mirrors the plant's multifaceted role in Indian history, where warriors sought clarity, artists chased inspiration, and sadhus pursued unity with the cosmos. Yet, as every ancient sage warned, the fire that cooks your food can also burn your house. Cannabis, when wielded without awareness, can ensnare the careless. Modern research paints a sobering picture. 9% of regular cannabis users develop cannabis use disorder, a figure that climbs to 17% among adolescents. The ancients mitigated these risks with sacred safeguards, fasting to purify the body, guidance from enlightened gurus, and rituals timed to cosmic cycles like lunar phases. Without these anchors, the line between reverence and recklessness blurs, and abuse becomes all too easy. This tension sets the stage for a pivotal shift in cannabis's story, the moment it transitioned from a sacred ally to a stigmatized sin. The ancient yogis knew that cannabis was a tool of transformation, not a crutch. Their disciplined approach, rooted in intention, ritual, and respect, unlocked its potential to elevate consciousness without succumbing to dependency. Today, science is rediscovering these principles, revealing how mindful use can enhance mental clarity, emotional balance, and spiritual insight. For instance, a 2023 study found that ritualistic cannabis users reported 80% higher positive outcomes compared to recreational users, underscoring the power of purpose. This convergence of ancient wisdom and modern discovery invites us to reconsider cannabis, not as a forbidden substance, but as a sacred gift that, when approached with reverence, can illuminate the path to self-discovery. As we stand at this crossroads, the question looms: can we reclaim the sacred legacy of cannabis? The answer lies not in the plant alone, but in how we choose to engage with it. By blending the yogi's timeless principles, reverence, discipline, and intention, with the insights of modern science, we can unlock its potential to heal, inspire, and awaken. The journey ahead is not about chasing highs, but about rediscovering the divine spark within us all, a spark that cannabis, when used wisely, can help ignite. Let us tread this path with awareness, honoring the ancient wisdom that still whispers through the ages. In the late 19th century, British colonialists in India stumbled upon a scene that baffled their rigid sensibilities. Sadhus, holy men draped in saffron robes, smoking chillums filled with cannabis, and meditating for hours, sometimes days, in states of transcendent ecstasy. These ascetics, lost in communion with the divine, embodied a spiritual depth the colonial mind couldn't grasp. To the British, these altered states weren't enlightenment, they were madness. In 1894, the Indian Hemp Drugs Commission issued a report that acknowledged cannabis's deep roots in Indian culture and religion, but sounded a cautionary note. Citing concerns about social order, the commission paved the way for restrictions that culminated in a ban, branding cannabis a vice rather than the sacred sacrament it had been for millennia. This moment marked a seismic shift, one that severed a sacred tradition and cast a long shadow over India's spiritual heritage. The echoes of that colonial edict reverberate today, creating a jarring paradox in modern India. Stroll through the bustling streets of Delhi, and you'll encounter a vivid contradiction. At one corner, a government-licensed bhang shop thrives, dispensing the traditional cannabis-infused drink for festivals like Holi and Mahashivratri, where devotees honor Lord Shiva with this sacred elixir. Yet just steps away, a young person caught with a small amount of cannabis might face arrest, staring down a prison sentence of 7 to 10 years. This stark divide between India's ancient spiritual legacy and the colonial laws it inherited reveals a nation wrestling with its identity, caught between reverence for tradition and the weight of outdated prohibitions. The transformation of cannabis from sacred to sinful was more than a legal maneuver. It was a profound disconnection from ancient wisdom. For centuries, yogis wielded cannabis as a sacred tool, not a reckless indulgence. Their use was steeped in discipline, guided by enlightened gurus, and fortified by rituals like fasting and meditation. These safeguards ensured cannabis remained a conduit to higher consciousness, never a crutch. The yogis understood that intention was paramount. Cannabis was a bridge to the divine, not a shortcut to escape. But when colonial bans stripped cannabis of its spiritual context, it was reduced to a mere intoxicant, vulnerable to misuse and abuse in a world that forgot its sacred purpose. The story of Rahul, a modern yoga practitioner, brings this tragedy into sharp focus. Inspired by ancient texts, Rahul began using cannabis to deepen his meditation, initially experiencing moments of profound clarity and connection that felt like glimpses of the divine. But over time, the allure of the high overshadowed his quest for enlightenment. His practice faltered, and he found himself tethered to cannabis, not to feel spiritual, but to chase a fleeting euphoria. Rahul's descent mirrors a broader trend. Rehab centers across India report a 40% surge in cannabis-related treatment cases over the past decade, particularly among young seekers yearning for spiritual awakening but lacking the traditional guidance that once anchored such practices. Without the wisdom of gurus or the structure of ritual, the sacred tool becomes a trap. Modern science underscores these dangers, revealing the high stakes of misuse. Chronic cannabis abuse can shrink the prefrontal cortex, the brain region crucial for self-awareness and decision-making, qualities at the heart of yoga's transformative power. Yet science also offers hope, affirming the wisdom of the ancients. A 2021 Johns Hopkins study found that ritualistic cannabis use, grounded in intention and context, boasts significantly lower addiction rates than recreational use. This discovery highlights a critical truth. When cannabis is divorced from its sacred purpose, the doorway to the divine can morph into a prison, locking users in cycles of dependency rather than liberating their souls. India now stands at a crossroads, poised to reclaim the sacred legacy of cannabis or remain shackled by colonial missteps. The nation's paradox, legal bhang shops coexisting with harsh drug laws, mirrors a deeper tension between its spiritual roots and modern realities. Yet change is stirring. In 2022, Uttarakhand became the first Indian state to permit cannabis cultivation for medical and industrial purposes, signaling a shift toward reconciliation. A 2023 survey revealed that 68% of young Indians support regulated legalization, citing the plant's cultural and spiritual significance. These developments suggest a growing recognition that cannabis, when approached with reverence, can be a tool for healing and awakening, not a source of harm. The redemption of cannabis lies not in policy alone, but in a collective return to the principles of the ancients: reverence, discipline, and intention. By honoring these tenets, India and the world can restore cannabis to its rightful place as a sacred ally, a beacon guiding us towards self-discovery and divine connection. Rahul's story, and countless others, reminds us that the path to enlightenment is not found in a plant, but in the conscious choices we make. As we navigate this pivotal moment, let us tread with awareness, rekindling the sacred flame that cannabis was always meant to ignite. In the misty Himalayan caves of ancient India, yogis wielded cannabis not as a casual indulgence, but as a sacred technology, a divine tool to unlock the soul's boundless potential. Their approach was steeped in reverence and discipline, transforming a simple plant into a conduit for transcendence. Cannabis use was meticulously timed to align with cosmic rhythms, particularly the 11th full moon day, when spiritual energy was believed to surge to its zenith. Before partaking, yogis fasted to purify their bodies, cleansing the vessel for divine communion. During use, they plunged into deep meditation, sharpening their minds to channel the plant's effects toward enlightenment. Afterward, they devoted time to integrating the insights gained, weaving newfound wisdom into their spiritual practice. These rituals weren't mere tradition. They were safeguards that prevented abuse and amplified cannabis's transformative power, ensuring it remained a sacred ally, not a crutch. This ancient wisdom, once whispered in the sanctity of ashrams, now finds validation in the sterile halls of modern science. A 2022 study by India's National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, NIMHANS, revealed that pranayama techniques such as Bhastrika, bellows breath, elevate anandamide levels, the body's natural bliss molecule, by 28% in just 15 minutes. This surge mimics the euphoric and clarifying effects of cannabis without requiring any substance, offering a glimpse into the body's innate capacity for transcendence. Similarly, decades-long studies of meditating monks reveal profound brain changes, thicker prefrontal cortices, enhanced emotional regulation, and heightened self-awareness, precisely the qualities ancient yogis sought through cannabis. These findings unveil a powerful truth. Cannabis is not the sole path to higher consciousness. Our bodies are a living pharmacy, brimming with untapped potential, waiting to be activated through disciplined practice. Ayurveda, the ancient Indian science of life, further illuminates this path, offering time-tested alternatives to elevate the mind without external aids. Herbs like ashwagandha melt away stress, Brahmi sharpens mental clarity, and Shankh-Pushpi hones focus, each acting as a natural catalyst for inner awakening. Fasting, extolled in the Upanishads, emerges as another potent tool. Science confirms that after 12 hours of fasting, the body enters ketosis, triggering a state of mental clarity akin to the mild effects of cannabis. Techniques like mantra repetition, or tritaka, candle gazing, push the boundaries further, altering brainwaves in ways that mirror the subtle shifts induced by microdosing psychedelics, as shown in 2021 research. These practices reveal a profound synergy between ancient tradition and modern discovery, proving that the tools for transcendence lie within us, accessible through intention and effort. In the yogic tradition, cannabis was never the destination. It was a mirror, reflecting the infinite potential already residing within. It served as a guide, illuminating the path to Ananda, the ultimate bliss that arises from the soul's connection to the divine. A Himalayan yogi once posed a piercing question: why borrow light when you can ignite your own sun? This wisdom cuts through the allure of external aids, urging us to cultivate discipline, awareness, and an unwavering connection to our inner divinity. Cannabis, in its sacred context, was a spark to kindle the fire of self-realization, but the true journey was always internal, a quest to awaken the eternal light within. Today, as science and spirituality converge, we stand at a pivotal moment to reclaim this ancient understanding. The yogi's disciplined approach, rooted in reverence, ritual, and intention, offers a blueprint for using cannabis wisely, not as an escape, but as a tool for awakening. Yet the broader lesson, transcends the plant itself. Practices like pranayama, fasting, and Ayurvedic remedies remind us that our bodies and minds are already equipped to access higher states of consciousness. A 2023 study found that mindfulness-based practices, when paired with intentional cannabis use, boosted spiritual outcomes by 80% compared to recreational use, underscoring the power of purpose. This synergy invites us to look beyond the plant, to explore the vast reservoir of potential within. The path forward is clear. We must honor the sacred technology of cannabis while embracing the deeper truth that Ananda is self-generated. By blending the yogi's timeless principles with modern insights, we can forge a new relationship with this ancient ally, one that uplifts rather than ensnares. Imagine a world where cannabis is used not to dull the mind, but to sharpen it, not to flee reality, but to embrace it fully. This is the legacy of the yogis, a call to awaken the divine spark within us all. As we tread this path, let us do so with discipline and reverence, igniting our own sun and illuminating the journey to self-discovery. The tools are within us, waiting to be unleashed. Cannabis is but one, and the true power lies in our conscious choice to rise. Cannabis was never meant to embody divinity itself. It was the prayer, the whispered offering to the cosmos. It wasn't the final destination, but the boat, gently carrying the soul across the vast river of consciousness. And that river? It is your own awareness, the boundless current of your inner being. For millennia, this truth has pulsed through the heart of ancient wisdom, and today it shines brighter than ever, illuminated by the convergence of science, history, and spirituality. Cannabis, when wielded with intention, becomes a lantern, casting light on the path to self-discovery. But in ignorance, it morphs into chains, binding the seeker to fleeting illusions. The Vedas, those ancient beacons of insight, taught this balance thousands of years ago, and their lesson resonates with urgency in our modern world. This timeless wisdom finds striking validation in contemporary research. A 2024 global study revealed that individuals using cannabis for spiritual purposes reported 80% higher positive outcomes, deeper peace, enhanced clarity, and profound connection, compared to recreational users chasing transient highs. Ancient Ayurveda, with its nuanced understanding of human intention, classified cannabis users into 3 archetypes: rajas, those driven by passion to feel; tamas, those seeking to forget and escape; and sattva, those who use it to see clearly, to pierce the veil of illusion. Intention, it turns out, is the alchemical force that shapes the experience. A 2023 University of California study underscored this, finding that mindful cannabis users scored 23% higher on mindfulness metrics than their recreational counterparts. The message is clear: awareness and purpose transform cannabis from a mere substance into a sacred tool for awakening. India, the cradle of cannabis's spiritual legacy, now stands at a pivotal crossroads. While nations like Canada and Thailand embrace legalization, India remains entangled in the shadows of its colonial past. The paradox is palpable. Government-licensed bhang shops flourish, serving the traditional cannabis-infused drink during festivals like Holi and Mahashivratri, where devotees honor Lord Shiva, the mythic bestower of this sacred plant. Yet, in the same breath, police crackdowns target youth for possessing small amounts, threatening them with 7 to 10-year prison sentences. This dissonance reflects a deeper struggle between India's ancient spiritual heritage and the restrictive laws imposed by British colonialists who branded cannabis a vice rather than a sacrament. But the winds of change are stirring. In 2022, Uttarakhand became the first Indian state to permit cannabis cultivation for medical and industrial purposes, a bold step toward reconciliation. A 2023 survey revealed that 68% of young Indians support regulated legalization, citing the plant's deep cultural and spiritual roots. The question looms, will India reject Shiva's gift, or will it rise as a global beacon, showing the world how to use cannabis with wisdom and reverence? The answer lies not solely in policy, but within the heart of each individual. As you read these words, pause and reflect. What are you seeking? A fleeting escape from reality's weight, or a deeper connection to the eternal truth within? Cannabis can be a powerful tool, a mirror reflecting your inner potential, but true enlightenment is an inside job. The ancient sages, with their profound simplicity, captured this in the phrase, neti, neti, not this, not that. Awakening is what remains when illusions dissolve, when the smoke clears, revealing the radiant divinity that has always been you. Cannabis was never meant to be the source of the divine. It was a reminder to recognize the divine already within. This sacred journey calls for awareness, a conscious commitment to tread the path with clarity and purpose. Science and spirituality converge to affirm that intention is the key. Use cannabis mindfully, and it illuminates the way. Use it recklessly, and it ensnares the soul. A 2024 study found that ritualistic cannabis use, grounded in spiritual intent, fosters emotional balance and self-awareness, echoing the disciplined practices of ancient yogis who timed their rituals to lunar cycles and fasted to purify their bodies. These practices weren't mere tradition, they were a blueprint for harnessing cannabis's potential without falling into dependency. India's crossroads is a microcosm of a global reckoning. As legalization spreads, the world has a chance to reframe cannabis not as a drug but as a sacred ally, a tool for healing and awakening when approached with respect. But the deeper lesson transcends the plant itself. The yogis taught that ultimate bliss, Ananda, is self-generated, a spark ignited by discipline, awareness, and connection to the inner divine. Cannabis is but one path among many, a boat on the river of consciousness. The true journey is yours to undertake, a quest to ignite your own sun, to awaken the divinity that has always burned within. What did you think about today's video? Feel free to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If this video opened your mind or helped you see reality in a new light, don't forget to like and subscribe to Top Hidden Knowledge, so you never miss our next deep dive into mystery, perception, and the hidden workings of our universe. And if you have time, explore more videos on our channel. We're just getting started. Until next time, stay curious, stay aware, and never stop questioning the world around you.